but it's good. I know. I know this stuff right here. You do? Yes. You know what?
Good evening and welcome to my live stream. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host, and here we are to fight CPS and stop taking our children. This is a live broadcasting around the world. Yes, that's what I said, around the world. We have a guest tonight, but I just lost my guest. Hopefully, she'll come back around. Grace, you can hear me? Maybe you could call her and tell her to come back on. I just tried to add her, but she went off. Anyway, I'm so glad that you've joined me because I'm here to talk about a terrible subject called CPS. Now, CPS stands for the Child Protection System. It's a government entity that was mandated by Congress to protect our children from neglect and abuse. Every county, every state's supposed to have that entity. And I call it right now the Child Protection System. It's a system of organizations within social services that's supposed to protect our children and also supposed to reunify our families back together, trying to put our families back together. This is a live stream that's done twice a day. I come on at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time and 7 p.m. Pacific time. That's twice a day, 14 times a week. I've been doing this now for 17 months. It started October 23. I've talked to over 1,000 people from not only from the United States, from around the world. I've talked to people from Indonesia, Bangladesh, India, the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, and Libya, then Africa, from Liberia to Sudan, to Rwanda, to Mozambique, to 2 provinces in South Africa, then up to Europe, England, Scotland, Wales, and of course, Denmark and Sweden. And across the pond, talked to North America, I'm talking to Canada and 4 provinces there in Canada, and then down in the United States, all 50 states. I've talked to some people from them, and then also the District of Columbia. Then south of the border, Mexico. Then South America, I have done Grenada. And then across the South Pacific, I have New Zealand, and then Australia with 2 states there. So it's a wide range of people. But one thing we all have in common, whether you're from another country or from the U.S., you've run into a rogue system, a rogue CPS system that's so corrupt, they take away your children. They make lies. They make promises they don't keep, and they're very deceitful. They will retaliate. And it's all because they found out how good of money they can get. The federal government right now has no restrictions how the money flows. If the state needs money, they just tell them how much it's sent. There's no accountability. And then the counties will ask the state, and the state will give them the money. So like I know in Orange County, the CPS organization there, which is called CPS, Child Protection Services, they get $20,000 per child per kid. I know firsthand. I had 3 of my 6 children stolen from me and taken in to foster care. It was a horrible experience. It was a horrible experience for the family, for the mother, the father, and for the children. It wasn't the greatest thing that was coming in there. So it is. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I apologize. Anyway, this is broadcast from my home, and I'm 3 blocks from the beach, and it's from the West Coast of California, a place called Surf City, USA. And I'm here to help you all with my experiences in CPS and talk about how they get an attorney. I also work for an attorney named Vincent W. Davis. It's many thanks go to him for producing this show. Now, I do want to say something about this live stream right now. First of all, I want to put at the bottom of my screen of how you can become a member of this live stream. Now, we've been trying very, very hard to make this live stream available, but to do so, it's really kind of hard because the costs keep going up and going up and going up. Now, we're very passionate about bringing you the information you need, sharing the stories to raise awareness, inspire, and to fight CPS, to keep creating the content you love. We need your support. Production costs are rising, and every contribution makes a real difference. Now, all you can do is that you can go to that website there and subscribe to the YouTube channel, CPS, and it's Defense Strategy Consultant Vince Davis. And there's a $10 membership, a $5 membership, a $2.50 membership, and a $1 membership. And it tells you all on that site about how it will work and stuff. But we really need your help on that. Really need your help. We need your support there. Now, I have a lot of regulars on this live stream that come and go all the time. I had several of them this morning, and they'll come again. There's about 15 to 30 of you that come regularly twice a day. And I've been doing this, as I say, 14 times a week. Now, on the weekends, I come on early at 8 a.m. in the morning. And tomorrow being Thursday, instead of 10 o'clock, I'll start at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. So make your notes there. It's 9:30. And that's when I will start there. Now, there's 4 ways you can interact in this podcast. One of the first ways is that you can text in a comment. All you need to do is talk about a question or a comment about CPS. Please show me your first name and your city or county and the state. If you're from outside of the country would be nice to have there. And then also try to talk about your CPS case. Be complete. Start at the beginning and where you're at the moment and how CPS workers got a hold of you and what their complaint was. So that's one way. Another way is to be a guest on this live stream. All that means is that you can be on here with 9 other people. Like tonight, I have a person that wanted to be on the live stream. And I hope that she comes back. Now, be a guest. You're going to contact Grace, who's our show producer. She really works hard and appreciate all her help. Now, she can set you up, but all you do is you contact her. You need to tell the date. Is it Monday or Sunday you want to be on? I'm on 7 days a week. And is it morning or afternoon? And she'll take care of the rest. She'll give you a link to get on StreamYard, which I'm on, and I broadcast on YouTube. So it's really great if you could go and email Grace at vincentwdavis.com. That's Grace at vincentwdavis.com. She'll tell you what to do or not to do on the show and help you get on the show. She will help you get on the show. Now, the last way that you can interact with this live stream is a call in to my number at 626-698-0990. I'm live. I can only talk during my show times. So if you call me before or after, I can't answer it. So just call in. That means you can talk on the phone. 626-698-0990. Now, whether you're a guest or you are call in, you get a bonus there. you can talk to Mr. Davis for 15 minutes free on a private Zoom consultation. That's a private one-on-one with Mr. Davis for 15 minutes. All you have to do is be a guest on my live stream or call in with your phone and talk. And that's all there is to it. The difference is when you're a guest, you be visual to everybody. It's audio and visual. A phone call is just audio. I'll put you on my speakerphone, but they won't see you there. Also, if you're a guest, I can take 9 of you. Now, so please call in. This will be for 1 hour, so you got plenty of time here. It's about 50 more minutes left of the live stream. Now, I'm glad you found me. There's a lot of, there's 7 Facebook pages, and they all channel back into here. And so that is good. Now, as I said, you found me on Facebook, Fighting CPS. And I'm very glad that you did. I'm very, very glad that you did. Now, while you're in this room, don't forget there's emojis. That means a smiley face or a thumbs up or a heart. Or you can send me stars. Please check below to follow me. And also, if you want to be notified when I come on, click the notification button, and that would be great. That would be great. Now, CPS, not all CPS are bad, but a lot of them are. And I know at least 1,000 of you have had bad incidents with CPS because not only do they invade your life and take away your child, they do it meanly and terrible. It's a lot of things you don't know about the rules. I have 5 rules. Rule number 1 is the most important because you need an attorney. And I don't mean a court-appointed attorney because they're a waste of time. You need a real bona fide attorney that's trained and qualified and licensed in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. That's the area of law that you need to be in. It's not a criminal law. It's juvenile, family, and dependency laws. That's what the kind of attorney you're looking for. Also, someone that's fought CPS. Rule number 2 is documentation. Document everything. In fact, start a page with your notebook paper and keep track of your incidents. Use 3 lines per incident. The first line will be the name, the phone number, the location, the date, and the time, and who you talk to, the people involved. The second sentence is to create a summary, a 1-sentence long summary of what the incident was about. And then the third line is the outcome of the incident. What happened to you in the end? So you have to document everything because they'll use everything against you. Rule 3 is you do not let them in your home and you don't talk to them. Too many people are so gung-ho to let them in their room. Next thing you know, you're giving away their child. They need a warrant or they need a danger signal that they need to come in, like a child's being abused and being hurt. Then they will come in. Or if you give them their permission, they'll come in, of course. But you don't give them permission because you need to get a hold of your attorney. He's going to protect you. They're going to end up using everything you say against you. I had a mother on this morning named Margaret, and she's from St. Louis, Missouri, and she's hired Mr. Davis. And she has a horrible accent. She has both her son and her daughter with children that are now being accosted by CPS, meaning that trying to take away their children. And they say that the mother, who is Margaret, has something to do with it, which isn't the case at all. But it's a bad case where they go on muck. That's your problem. You can't separate a good CPS from a bad CPS. So right away, if they ask to come in your home, then that is a red light to, hey, put your blinders up. Don't talk to them. Don't let them in your home, and don't give up your child. They need a court order. The less you talk to them, the better off you are. And watch out medical trafficking. Medical trafficking is really bad. That's where you take a child to urgent care or the emergency room of the hospital, and next thing you know, social workers take away your child because they overheard something, or they work at those places. And they will sit there and take your children. Also, if you're having a baby, don't let the social workers come in and buffalo and say, we need to take your child because you tested positive. If you test positive for a drug, you can be fixed about it. Also, it could be a misreading. That should be not a warrant to take away a newborn child anyway. That's traumatic on the child and traumatic on the mother. And that happens all the time. Now, I have another number on the screen, 888-888-6582. That's the law offices of Vincent W. Davis. There you can get lots of stuff. If you call reception, tell them that Bob sent you. And you speak to Mr. Davis, tell them that Bob sent you. But there you can get guides and books about CPS. The latest book out right now is a guide for grandparents to adopt their grandchildren in California. It's the steps, step by step. And it can be used in other states, and even parents should get a hold of this guide. It's $9.99, but there's a sale going on. If you use my discount code, you get it for PACE, P-A-C-E, number 50, PACE 50. And you get it at 50% off. 50% of $9.99. It's roughly $5, You get it for $5. And you can't go wrong there. And yes, grandparents and family members are part of this system. Don't let social workers try to buffalo you. They're not. Grandparents and sisters and brothers just as much right as the parents do with the children. Now, we're having a rainy day in California, but I know the rest of the country is not doing too well weather-wise. But I'd love for you to share me your stories. Now, one thing you got to be aware of is who CPS is. Now, it's a great idea. We need our children protected. There's a lot of bad parents out there. There's a need for it. There are good CPS workers, but a lot of them are bad. All you have to do is look at the ones in Prescott, Arizona. There's 8 social workers. They're all women, and they decided to get pink T-shirts. It wasn't because they were thinking about cancer awareness or breast cancer awareness. They wanted to send a message out. And what they did, they stenciled on the front of the T-shirt, professional child kidnappers. And on the back, they put, parents, do you know where your children are at? And then they decided to parade around and wear this at Costco, at Walmart, at Kmart, at Target, at Best Buys, and Sears, J.C. Penney, May Company, Best Buys, all the big stores, and sent out a wrong message. They were quickly caught, and then they were fired right away. They also fired the director because he was at fault too. That left them with one person left to run the CPS program. And it's hard. It's a thankless, hard agency to work and deal with. But I swear, if you're going to have families involved, you need to have professional social workers. You can't cut back or curtail back on it. Now I'm going to shift about the support page, and I'm going to put down um, another way you can talk to Vincent Davis. Let me get to there if I can. Okay. For just $60, you can book a discounted private Zoom consultation with Mr. Davis for 30 minutes, care of me. All you do is you go to that webpage, https://candlely/com/apps/apps/vwd/Bob Pace. And you use your credit card and pay $60, and he will schedule a private one-on-one with you for 30 minutes. So you get a free one for 15, you get a paid one for 30 minutes. And he's great to talk to. He's easy to talk to, but he's a pit bull of attorney. He is a good fighter. Not only does he bring back children, he does lawsuits, and he sued lots of people and brought back millions of dollars in lawsuits against CPS. They use his videos for their workers to learn how to fight a good attorney like Mr. Davis. He's the real thing. And I would take that offer for 15 minutes or for 30 minutes, or they call in and say, I want to hire you now. Because I did. I waited a year late to get my case, get an attorney, and it was terrible. I had a court-appointed attorney, and she could do nothing right. She didn't know the law, and she wouldn't meet with you, and the only time she'd talk is when she's at the courthouse. There's no client or referee relationship. It was really bad. It was really, really, really bad. But I finally had to get a real attorney. That was Vincent Davis. When he came aboard, he did a lot of things. He helped me get my 2 boys back. Our daughter was gone because we had a very corrupt social worker decided to retaliate because she was embarrassed in court. Our attorney, Vincent Davis, dumped a whole can of worms on that attorney. The attorney was asked to about my wife's sister and her husband adopting our kids. And Mr. Davis asked the social worker, how good of parents are my wife's sister and husband? And she answered, oh, they're just great parents. No problem at all. And then he asked, do they have any domestic violence? Well, that was the mistake. They did have. Not only did they have domestic violence, they had physical domestic violence. And that's really, really bad because that involves a whole year of a program. Let me put my phone number back up. Okay, so I'd like to hear from you because it's you that makes the live stream. I'm just talking, but I love to hear you talk or answer your questions. So please call in. My phone number is up, 626-698-0990. Now, there's a lot of topics we can talk about. We can talk about the 388 motion, the 160 hearing, the ICWA Act of 1978, which is the Indian Child Welfare Act. I have a great amount of knowledge. I'm not an attorney, but I'm a loving father that's helped raise 6 children that has over 41 years of marriage experience. Fighting CPS is something you weren't prepared for. It's something that comes later in your life. And you need to be prepared for it. That's so many adult things happen later on when you're growing up. Now, I have a program. Well, not a program. It's a I don't know. It's an application that you can join, and it's a question answers. There's some difficult questions asked for people, and then you see their answer. Then you see their answer. Um, it's called Cora Digest. Now, in court, it's very important that the lawyers are the ones that talk to each other. You should not talk to social workers. Let your lawyer talk to their lawyer. It's counsel to counsel. In the courtroom, the judge is like a referee. He listens, he makes decisions. He listens and makes decisions. Now, here's one question here. It says, is it justable to call child protection services on family members if they're mistreating their children and refuse to stop when confronted? Now, the person that answered this name is called Blair. And she says, I called CPS on my own mother. She was leaving my brother, whom was 2 years old, alone with my sister, whom was 8 years old, home alone for hours. She was also doing drugs. She also was doing drugs again and drinking. I lived on my own with my own daughter and one baby on the way. I wasn't able to protect my siblings on a daily basis. Long story short, my sister and brother were removed. They were separated into different homes. My baby brother was physically and sexually abused while in foster care. He would tell me, man, mom, on during their supervised visits. He would scream not to go back to his foster home. CPS said he was lying and would pry my terrified and confused brother out of my mom's arms. My mom was full of anxiety and overwhelmed, overwhelmed with hopelessness as they took her away from her to put him back with the people whom were abusing him. Now, abuse does happen in foster care. My mom was far a perfect mom, but my sister and brother were not sexually or physically abused when they lived with her. I watched this all go down in front of my eyes, and I vowed I would never ever call CPS again. My biggest regret was making that call. I should have sucked it up and brought them to my house. CPS is not a good agency. They're not your friends, and they don't protect your children. They are predators. Yeah, that is pretty heavy thing there to hear from that brother about his sisters and brothers um, being inappropriately touched in foster care. It does happen. There are bad foster care and good foster care. One of the ladies on my show is from Montana. She's a great lady, and she's trying to get her brother's child back. She's as a niece, and she wants to take care of him. And she has a very difficult time because they don't like to talk to grandparents. Now, here's another question. Can CPS put me in a group home if I didn't listen to my parents? I'm 15 and I don't agree with my parents, so I don't follow their stupid rules. CPS got called and mentioned to my parents that they are group homes for kids. Now, I have a 14-year-old that is currently in the process of going to be in a group home. She struggled with her mental health and abandonment issues from um, her uncle and parents. They had raised her, but from the infancy, we tried to give her the best home possible. She had been to private schools, played on sports teams, um, had had outings and gatherings, joyful holidays, and beautiful home, all kinds of activities. But one couldn't give her bio parents their chomps and anything we do for her. She was long for her parents. Well, but choice are not involved in her life. Mind you, her father is my husband, nephew, so there's blood family. But her parents chose not to be involved with her, and it's devastated her. Now, due to this, she is now a bad child, but extremely problematic at home and in school. She receives mental health services and other support. She's been in a behavioral health facility and hospitalized due to her mental health. She has rages, and at the end of each rage, the issues always end up with her being upset about her parents. We've had CPS involved twice because she lies a lot. We have to have cameras up in our home to prove what she says happened. Didn't happen. She has done the same thing to teachers and staff in school. She only goes to school for a half a day because of her behaviors. It's gotten so out of control that her whole support team feels it's best that she goes to a group home because she has become physically aggressive as well as it's getting worse. Now she's scared about going into a strange environment with strangers. And if it all stems from her longing for her parents, I advise you to follow your parents' rules. I didn't need anything about you saying that the rules are harmful, just that you think they are stupid. Most teens, um, your parents have rules for a reason. They love you and want to protect you. This would be an evil and a scary place. Try to have an open dialogue with your parents. Ask them about their certain rules. You don't have to agree with her and hear about their reasoning. You could not have your parents involved in your life and long for them as my niece longed for hers. Now, I've talked here a little bit about Coors Digest, and it's just stories after stories after stories. And some of them are pretty bad. Some of them are pretty bad. Now, I like to tell you that when you first get a contact from CPS, and you know what they are, your first step is to contact your attorney. And if you don't have an attorney, you need to find one. And rule number one tells you get an attorney by searching for one. Now, I have one right here, Vincent W. Davis, and you can call in and talk to him. But to get you need at least 3 quotes from 3 attorneys that you're going to use. So your second and third, you're going to have to shop around. And the easy way to do it is how you do research on the internet. It's very important that you put the arrangements of your words. And what you're looking for is an attorney in the area of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. So you start off with the city, then the state, then the letters CPS, and then put down attorney in the area of juvenile law, dependency law, and family law. Those 3 areas: juvenile, family, and dependency. And when you do that, you're going to find all of them in your area, in your city. Now, if you live in a small city, you may have to go bigger. Like if you work in Athens, Georgia, you may have to go to Atlanta. So you do Athens, Atlanta, and then Alabama, and then put the letter CPS, and it pulls up a bunch of things. If you want to be specific or find something specific, in what you're trying to do, then you just text them. Use that link that I tell you about. Once you got the list down there, you call them, and you have 2 important questions. Question number 1 is: Are you a legal licensed attorney in the area of juvenile law, dependency law, and family law? And have you won CPS cases and gotten children back? If the answer is yes, you're on a roll. The next question you need to ask them is that after the case is over, have you ever done a lawsuit to sue them, to make a lawsuit against them? Because Vincent Davis has. He's done that. So those 2 steps you want to do. And so it is so important, because without this attorney, you're going to go nowhere. The attorneys control the outcome of the case. The judge is a referee, and the judge will make it there. Now, these aren't jury trials. These aren't jury trials. It's very interesting. Some nights I'm crowded, some nights I don't have very many people. Now, the type of social workers you're encountering are bad. I always talk about the Prescott social workers from Prescott, Arizona, the pink ladies. Well, they got the pink t-shirts, and on the front they stenciled professional child kidnappers. And on the back they said, "Do you know where your parents are?" And they paraded to walk around Costco and Walmart and Kmart and Best Buy, all the big stores. But they were caught and they were fired. That's not how CPS workers are supposed to be. They're supposed to take your children and be respect. Be respect. That's what it is. All about respect. Now, it is hard when they first approach you. Don't answer the door. Don't peek through the window. They'll eventually go away after they honk and bang on the door. If you're outside and you encounter them, meaning you're out in the yard or you just came home and they have to be on your porch, you be courteous with them, but say, "I can't talk to you unless my attorney's present." Your attorney is supposed to protect you. And you don't want to say things that get you in trouble. So all you do is you tell them that you can't talk to them, that you'll get back to them with attorneys. Take their information, see their ID card. If police are involved, get their badge number, get the phone number, get everything like that. Where you're going to meet with them is you don't want to meet in your home or their office. You meet at public places, the library, Starbucks, McDonald's, someplace like that where it's a little bit safer. A little bit safer because you can't trust these individuals. Fighting CPS is like you're Alice in Wonderland. You fell in the rabbit hole and you met the Chester cat, and she says to go to one room, the next room. And you're not understanding everything. So be careful. There's another analogy too. If you know anything about open heart surgery, it's going to take a licensed doctor. You don't want to have a lay person take a knife, cut open the chest cavity, pop the heart out, and try to work on it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You need a professional. That goes true for fighting CPS. You need a professional because these guys are bag dogs. They don't like you as a family or a friend. They don't like to do reunification. In fact, there's an incentive act passed in 1984 by Bill Clinton that basically says that they'll get paid a certain amount of money if they have the child adopted into foster care. So there's motivation. They don't want to take family reunification because it takes too long. It's really costly. So make sure you have an attorney. Make sure you keep track of all your documents. Do the incident time log. Do that incident. And of course, 3, don't talk to them. Don't let them in your home. Don't let them have your child. If you're outside, just say, excuse me, I need to have my attorney present. We'll get back to you. Take the information. Be nice to them. Now, policemen are usually along because they're intimidation. When a CPS worker, they're supposed to protect the worker, but lately they've been more of intimidation. That policemen can be intimidated with their combat boots, their uniform, and breastplates and stuff like that. Plus, they don't know the laws of CPS. Technically, the policemen are only supposed to escort the social workers and protect them. That's what they're for. Protect the social, not to protect law and order. There's a court bailiff, sheriff. They'll be keeping order in the court. Now I have about 8 minutes left before the podcast is over. Okay, it's 7:51. It ends at 8:00. So my number's still up there. You can call in. Don't forget that you get a free consultation with Mr. Davis for either being a guest on my podcast. All you have to do is send it to grace@vincentwdavis.com or call in at 626-698-0990. Now qualify you to be a guest. To get a time with Vincent Davis. Now, I was hoping to hear back from Margaret because she was really in tears today. A lot of you express your emotions. It's hard. But I'm here twice a day, 7 days a week. Don't forget tomorrow. That start at 9:30 instead of 10 o'clock. 9:30 instead of 10. Now, the other thing is, if you want to help out our show, it's really important that you contact the YouTube channel called CPS Defense Strategy Consultant Vince Davis. We need your support and help. And so contact that link, and there's 4 levels of membership. There's one for 10, then one for 5, one for $2.50, the other one for $1. They all have different benefits explained further in there. So that is scrolling at the bottom. That's the scrolling at the bottom there. Now, rule number 4, I haven't really talked to you about that much, is how to find something, how to research the internet. It's full of answers, but it's very important you phrase your question. You start off with the city in the state, and then you put the letters CPS after that. And supposedly a lot of things will show up. And spend 60 to 80 hours. You guys spend a lot of time. I didn't do any of these rules, by the way. That was wrong on my part. Wrong on my part. Also, if you want to get more specific after the letters CPS, put what you want to find in CPS, an attorney, or you want to know about the 160 hearing, or the 388 motion, or the Indian Child Welfare Act of 1978. Those things will pop up. Those things will pop out. Now, let me see here. What do we got here time-wise? Okay, I'm at 7:55, so I got about 5 minutes left here. And it's important that if you're at a place with CPS, don't panic. There's lots of ways you can help. You can talk to me twice a day, 7 days a week. You can talk to Mr. Davis. All you have to do is be on my as a guest or call in. And it's free for 15 minutes. Or if you have $60, you can see him for 30 minutes. $60 for 30 minutes. So it's so important. Now, my last rule is to take all the documents, make copies of your driver's license, your shot records of your children, your grades of your children, any health records. You need to put all those in an envelope and keep it with your notebook because those documents are valuable. Your marriage license, your own certificates for birth, your shot records, and so forth. Because a lot of things will come up. They're going to try to say you're mentally unfit to take care of your kids. Now, whatever there is, don't talk to social workers, please. Talk to your attorney. And if you have to use a public defender, make them work for it. Tell them if they do not perform for you, you will file a lawsuit for non-performance. Also, you'll call the state bar and report them. That really ruins up a lawyer's records. So you need to take good care of your children and be awful careful if they're in your neighborhood or falling in line. They're not nice. They're not nice. They'll make your life miserable. It certainly made my life so miserable that I lost my youngest child, my girl, my daughter. They retaliated because the social worker on the stand committed perjury. She was lying about my wife's sister and husband adopting our child. And the social worker was asked by our attorney, Vincent Davis, how good of parents are they? And social worker says they're great. And then he asked, was there any domestic violence? And she said, oh, no, there's been no domestic violence. Well, then Mr. Davis proceeded to open a folder and read report by report talking about domestic violence. Not only was it the verbal, but it was the physical. That's not a safe place to put your child. So she retaliated, and she told our daughter, who was 12 at the time, to emancipate your parents, meaning divorce your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts and uncles and cousins. And that was sad. Not only that, she was told to seal her birth certificate and change her name and get a new Social Security card. She was double dipping 2 Social Security cards. One she got when she was with me, and the new one she got. She didn't discontinue the old one. And the way things are, no one knows that is happening. So there's a lot of things in the government that's really been bad, and they're trying to get to the bottom of the barrel of that. Trying to get to the bottom of the barrel. Okay, I want to thank you all for listening to tonight, and God bless you all. And thanks for the emojis. I think I see somebody here named Christopher Naylor. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate the support. Again, I'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time. That's the West Coast of California. That's 9:30. And I want to thank you for listening and supporting us. And we have Shan, who just came in at 7:59. I need to get in touch with you. Great. Shan, I want you to call me tomorrow at 9:40 at 626-698-0990. Or you can send an email to Grace, my show producer, grace@vincentwdavis.com, and ask to be on my my live stream. You pick it what day and time you want. Okay? So all of you, keep fighting. Do not give up. There's a lot out there. I'll be again around. I'm on twice a day, so don't worry. So God bless you. And this is Bob Page.